Hi, it's Jordan Teen 1, and in this video I'll be showing you an updated version of my mini cross charm. So I will show you the original. This one I had made back in April, and this was used with single bands that were doubled, so it's nice and tight. But I did have some comments that people were having problems with their bands breaking. So since it's nearing the Christmas season, I've decided to do another cross with just a little bit of a different version. So here's what the new one looks like. And it's really the same pattern. The only difference is that instead of using single bands that are doubled, I use two bands at once. So that way it's not as tight and it doesn't put as much stress on the bands. So you can see for this, I decided to use Christmas colors. So I have this dark green and dark red and then the white. So as far as the band counts go, I have 12 of the red, 10 green, and 10 white. And for your loom, I'm using the full-size rainbow loom, and I'm only going to be working with one row of pins. So you can really use any loom as long as it has the pins in a straight row and they're at least 9 pins in length. You can see that I have removed the other 2 rows of pins, but if you have a loom in which the pins don't come off, that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to be starting at the very end of the loom here, and my first color is going to be red, and as I said, you're going to be using 2 bands at once every time. So this is just going to go from the first pin up into the second. And then I'm going to switch to the green color, again with 2. And then the next set's going to be white. And now I'll do another set of white. We're going to be doing 8 sets of bands in length. And now another white. And now I'm going to do a set of green. And then a second set of green. And then finally back to the red. And now on this end pin here where we just stopped, I want to put a cap band. So this one's going to be red, and I'm going to triple this. So in order to do that, I'm just going to place it on my hook, twist, put it back on, twist, and put it back on. So that'll give you the 3 loops there. Just going to place it right on the end here. And now before I do any looping, I'm going to go back to the start here. I'm going to put on one of the arms of the cross, and it's going to start on the 4th pin up from the bottom of your loom. And the first set's going to be white. And then the next set is going to be green. And then finally one set of red. And then once again I want to put a cap band on here, and I'm going to make it red. So again, you're just going to triple this, put it right on the top here. So now you're going to turn your loom around so the arrows are facing towards you. And you can see here we have one set of bands for the bottom row here, and then right here where the arm is, you can see that second set on top. So we're just going to loop that one arm. So for this, what I'm going to do is just take my hook, push back on this cap band, these 3 top bands, grab just these next 2 bands, it's going to be the red ones here. I'm going to hold this in place just so it doesn't come off. Just move those up. And now again, I'm just going to go right down through the middle, grab the 2 green here. Oops, looks like only one made it on. You have to make sure they both make it on. If you feel like your bands are too far up, you can just push them down. And then I'm going to go back down through, and this time I need the 2 white. Just making sure they're the upper ones. And now I want to remove this arm. So I'm just going to take my thumb and put it over top of this pin just so I don't lose it. And I'm going to grab the bottom, pull this off, and I'll just slide it out to the side here. Really doesn't matter if you put it to the right or left, but for right now I've put it to the left. And now I'm going to turn this around again. And now from this same pin, the fourth pin up, we're going to just add the second arm. It's going to be the same pattern, so I'm going to do the white first. And you will want to push this down to the bottom because this pin is going to get extra full. And now I'm doing a set of green. And then finally red. And again, I need a cap band. So I'm just tripling this. And now I can turn my loom around again, so arrows facing towards me. And again, I'm just pushing back on the top three, grabbing the next two red. This can come off. Just going to loop this other arm here. And now again, I'm going to place my thumb over this pin, and I can release this other arm here. And then this time, of course, I want it to go to the opposite side. And now I'm ready to loop the rest, so I'm coming all the way to the bottom. Arrows still facing towards me. And again, I'm just getting these bottom two to come up through. And I'll just work my way all the way to the top. And again, this is super, super full. So just make sure your loops get on there. And now this is going to be the toughest part. And you need to go down through all of the top bands. We're only worrying about the bottom two. Let me move this so you can see. It's going to be the bottom two white. Just going to get that on my hook. And just be very careful and take your time here when you pull them up through. Just go slowly. And if you want, you can just wiggle this back and forth a little bit till you feel it come loose. And now it can go above here. And now I can just continue on till I get to the top. And then with my last band here, this is going to be the little hang tag at the top, the little loop. So I'm just pushing down through. Make sure you go through all four. Push your hook out to the side. Then you can bring this last one up through. Get it back on your hook. Pull one end through the other. It's going to make a slip knot. And now you can remove this from the loom. Again, just be really careful here where the arms are because it's so full. And then here's your cross. It's a little bit bent out of shape when you first take it off. And let me just make this slip knot go right all the way to the very top. And then you can just take a second to even these out. I like to just grab the cap band at the end and just sort of pull. Same thing here at the bottom. So you can just play around with it until it looks nice and even. And let me show you a few other ones that I have made. This one is red and green, but it's just in every other alternating pattern. And this one was actually inspired by Judy Juiced, who shared a very similar one on my Facebook page. And then the last one I'll show you here is using all gold bands, and I think it turns out super pretty. The bands that I've used are silicone bands. They are made by DIY, And the only thing that I want to say about these bands is they are really pretty, but they do break easily, so just be careful if you pick up this brand. I know there's a lot of other brands out there that also have silicone available, so you can check those out. I hope that everyone enjoyed making their crosses. You can always leave me comments on YouTube and Facebook, post pictures of your creations to my Facebook page, and please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well. Thanks for watching!